You're listening to the Tooth Sleuth Podcast, all about the business of dentistry, hosted by yours truly, Greg Essenmacher, a fixed full arch dental expert and founder of G&A Consult, speaking with industry leaders on the dental landscape from their perspective. At G&A, we specialize in transforming full arch dental practices, teaching, coaching, and training teams to deliver an exceptional patient experience, from that first call to delivering final smiles. Whether you're a practice owner, a DSO executive, or a regional leader looking to expand your full arch program, boost same-store sales, or unlock the true profitability of full arch cases, we've got you covered. Ready to see how full arch can elevate your practice? Visit the show page or book a discovery call today. Let's turn your potential into results. Welcome back to the Tooth Sleuth Podcast, everyone. Greg Essenmacher here. I'm so honored that you joined the show today. You know me, and if you don't, click subscribe, share, something else. I don't even know. My guest today, none other than Ian Miller. Ian, I don't even know what company that you are representing today. And the reason why I say that is Ian is a master at going and helping companies that need a little bit of love as a CRO. And I'm going to have him tell you what a CRO is, right? So that's like an EIEIO. Ian, welcome to the show. Tell everybody who you are.
Thank you so much. I am Ian Miller, the one and only, as Greg said. CRO is a chief revenue officer. So I am the chief revenue officer for several dental companies. And I'm just honored to be with Greg, and I love his podcast, and I am so happy to be here.
Well, the thing that I love about Ian is that he helps companies that have great products that need help getting to market, or once they're in the market, really getting elevation in the market, especially in the dental space. Because of his extensive knowledge and his experience in the dental space, I mean, there are so many that he's brought to market, helped to elevate, turned over and sold to other companies, all these things that he's done. And I just love his story, and I've gotten to know him over the years, and we may have a good fun story or two that we can share. So
I
Ian,
don't know
why don't
if we
we
want to
start
do
out?
that.
We can talk about, there is always the story of Tulum. So if anybody ever sees Ian, just ask him about the phone and Tulum and that great phone call to his wife on the van back to the phone base. But we'll save that story for another day.
Yeah.
So Ian, tell me.
Definition of booty call. I know.
Oh my gosh. Well, now my listening audience is definitely going to stay tuned in because they think there's a booty call going on with something or another. But yes, that is the definition of one for sure. Literally, if I might say so myself. So Ian, tell me a little bit about your history, and tell my listening audience about your history in dental, so that, you know, you've got some street cred before we dive into some other topics today.
That really is a really good Freudian slip, street cred. So I've been in business. You could tell by my lack of hair and gray beard that I've been around the block a few times, and started off my my illustrious career in men's apparel, so men's shirts, and did that for the better part of my life. And back in 2008-09, saw that the whole industry was going to hell, and just decided time to get out. It took me a few years and several $100,000 later, but eventually got out and joined an amazing dental toothpaste company. It was a very novel product. It was a plaque identifying toothpaste. Joined the company back in 2015 or so, and they were in 1,000 dental offices. And by 2021, grew that to 50,000 offices worldwide. And they were approached by a large distributor who wanted to buy the brand, who sold the brand. And the rest is history. I decided that I could do that for a whole lot of companies rather than just one. So I became a fractional chief revenue officer to several companies, and started growing my own business, Dental Mutuality. And it just went from there.
And so when I think of a fractional chief revenue officer, what are some of the products or some of the projects that you're working on currently? And at what stage are they? Are we talking about something that's like on a blueprint and you're trying to get them approved and trying to get them to a manufacturer? Or are they already in market and they need some love, getting some attention, and you're helping them with their go-to-market strategies to do better?
Yes, to all of that. So interestingly enough, a lot of companies that I work with are startups, owned by dentists who have come up with this most amazing idea, an incredible product, a service, a software, and they don't know what they don't know when they start out. They think that, well, I'm going to create this product. I'm going to go to a Greater New York show and I'm going to be in the booth. And by 1 o'clock, I'm going to be sold out because there's just going to be a line around the booth. And they sit there and they twiddle their thumbs. They don't understand why people aren't coming in the booth and buy. And so it becomes one of those things where they realize at some point is they know the product that the dentists need. They just don't know how to get it in front of the other dentists properly. Or they know how to do it, but they don't have the time because they're still in practice. And that's where they reach out to me, is because we fill in the gaps. So Dental Mutuality, we're a C-suite of executives in the dental industry, and sales is our primary objective. But if they need to have a COO, a chief operating officer, a CEO, or a chief financial officer, we have all the people in place to be able to fill those gaps in a fractional basis, so it doesn't cost them $1 million annually with with an executive team that would just suck the money right out of the company.
Well, and these entrepreneurs can get, especially like you said, the dentists that are working full time, still practicing, have great ideas, great products, and bring them into market, is they get the very top level of talent without having to bloat out, a P&L statement that has millions of dollars on the top line before they have the revenue to support it. So I love this concept, and it's not a foreign concept necessarily, foreign to dental or any other vertical. Let's talk about a few of them, because I know of a few that I want to talk about that I'm most interested in, that I think my listening audience is really going to clue in on. The first one I want to talk about is dropship dental. How often is it that we see with clinicians in their practices that they want to be able to provide, right, certain products that they like, right? Whether it's like an electric toothbrush, or, it might be like a rinse that they need their patients to use like in between their cleanings if they have deep pockets, or we could fill in the blank and go on and on. But they certainly don't want to go through being a retail store and have the retail just burden, right? Dead cash on the shelf, assistants that might rotate through the front with the turn rate of business, whatever the case may be. So talk to me about this particular product, this particular company that you have, that you're helping as a fractional CRO, and what exactly it's all about.
So Dropship Dental was born out of a need that I discovered way back when I started with the toothpaste company, is that everybody wanted the toothpaste, but there was a resistance. I don't want to carry product in my office. I don't want to deal with taxes because I don't need to charge taxes on my dental procedures, but I do if I sell your product. I don't want to deal with expiration dates. I don't want to deal with shrinkage. I don't want to deal with my patients saying, I just spent $5,000 on you and you want to charge me $20 for this. So I knew that the need was there, and it was just a matter of time before I found the right software so that we can do this quickly and easily and provide dental offices with a page on their own website where they can decide which products and which companies they want to have available to their patients. And with all the latest technology with QR codes and links and RFID and stuff like that, we can have a very easy way for their patients to be able to buy the products that the dental office recommends. The dental office gets a fairly large revenue share on it. And it's just a way for them to provide another exceptional service to their patients rather than saying, oh yeah, go find it in Walmart or go onto Amazon. Here, they get to be a trusted product from that dentist.
Well, and I love this concept because if you think about it, I don't know about y'all, right? But I've been to my primary care physician before, and they'll write 2 or 3 scripts, and a couple of them will actually be like behind the counter that you can't get, and 1 or 2 might be like an over the counter where you literally go and walk up and down the aisles of either Walgreens, CVS, whatever pharmacy you use, and you pick it up off the shelf. And so this concept of, go buy something, right? That's off the shelf, if you will, off the shelf, but they don't have to carry it, right? So they don't have to send the patient out and hope that they fulfill this obligation that's going to be so critical to their oral health so that they can know, okay, Mr. or Mr. Dentist, know that they're going to be out there, right? The doctors can know that they're going to be out there and utilizing this oral therapy that's going to be complementary to the treatments that they're getting and get them into better oral health. So I love this concept. And so out of this, like, what is the process if somebody's interested in getting involved with this? Like, what are the steps? What are the easiest? Oh, no muss, no fuss.
You go to our website at dropshipdental.com. They go to the office section. They just fill out a quick form. There's 5 or 6 fields to fill in. Then we'll contact them. We'll let them know what they have to do next. And at the very last step, we just need to get in touch with whoever is controlling their website so that we can figure out whether or not they want to have an embedded site, in other words, Dr. Miller/store, or whether they want to have a subdomain such as store.drmiller.com. And whoever's taking care of their web, it's a very easy, quick process. And then it's just a question of picking and choosing from the companies and the products as to which ones they want to recommend.
Perfect. And I'm going to put you on the spot because I didn't talk to you about this before, and all my listening audience can know this. But at the end of the show, I'm going to ask you for a special deal or a special offer just for those that mention the Tooth Sleuth podcast when they do go to your website or they reach out to you. So be prepared for that. Okay. So the other company I want to talk about.
We do have a little bit of a problem there. The problem
What's that?
is that it's free.
Oh, so they don't even have to pay for this.
We waived all the monthly charges, so it's free. So for the first 250 offices that join, it's free. So it's hard to give a deal.
How about this? So it's actually free. So you've heard it here on the Tooth Sleuth podcast. So the first 250 offices that sign up, it's free of charge. Doesn't cost them anything monthly.
Nothing monthly.
Oh, well, I mean, that's even better. So you jumped the gun. I was going to maybe say the first 250 listeners of the Tooth Sleuth podcast exclusively get that, but we don't want, we want to be honest. We want to be truthful. I love that. Well, the second product that you have that I want to talk about, which I know for me, and we talked about it on a previous episode that we were talking about on the Tooth Sleuth podcast, that anxiety for patients is huge. At G&A Consult, we teach, coach, and train every touch point of the patient journey in full arch. And we know one of the greatest barriers for patients who need fixed full arch therapy is the anxiety. They're fearful of going to the dentist. They're worried about going to the dentist. There's challenges because they probably had a bad experience at the dentist before. And because of that, right, they just don't want to go. And so there's a product line. It's VR goggles. And I want you to talk about this, right? And is it Paper Plane Therapeutics? Do I have the name of that company right?
Paper Plane Therapeutics.
Great. Let's talk a little bit about that, because this is an amazing product that can reduce anxiety levels that especially, and I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm going to talk about this. How often in clinic, right, for doctors, patients come in for a big procedure and their blood pressure is too high. Well, let's just put them in a calming room. Then you've already got the time, the 2-3 hours on your schedule set aside, but because their blood pressure, you have to try to get their blood pressure down. You certainly don't want to give up that time on your schedule, send the patient home and lose all that production. So talk to me about this product. I think it's amazing.
Okay, so close your eyes. Everybody out there, close your eyes, okay? Picture you are now walking along a beach in Hawaii where you see the palm trees blowing in the wind. You see the birds flying in the sky. You see the ocean moving. You actually hear the sounds of the ocean, the palm trees, and there's soft Zen music playing in the background. You feel like you can almost smell the pineapple, but you can't. That's just in your imagination because you are so immersed in this beautiful sunset on this Hawaiian beach that you completely forget that you're in the dental chair. And that is exactly what our objective is. All of our software, all of our experiences are specifically designed to lower the patient's heart rate and blood pressure. There's nothing in there that's overstimulating. And by doing that, you're reducing their anxiety levels naturally. You're naturally reducing their fear, and you're even reducing and can even eliminate pain, which is an amazing thing. And we've got so many videos from different doctors, whether it's giving a child the needle to numb them, and the child didn't even realize that he was being given a needle, which is unheard of. Um, the doctor was so impressed, he actually wanted to give himself a needle. So he had his wife who's a dentist, and he got the needle and just hated it. Following week, put on the VR glasses, same type of needle, same place, and didn't even realize he had the needle. So it does distract you and immerse you in that so heavily that you don't realize what's going on in your mouth. And that's an amazing, amazing product for anybody who needs to reduce their anxiety, their fear, or if they just are very sensitive to the pain that some offices have and some dentists, unfortunately, with their patients, it's part of being a dentist.
Well, and this is a very real thing. And I know we've have clients too that are actually, they built a big part of chunk of their practice. Like we have one who really focuses on sedation dentistry, not just for big cases, but in general, and have patients that drive from very long distances just for sedation, even for simple cleanings, because the amount of anxiety that they feel. So if you can avoid, right, or reduce the amount of anesthesia that somebody's got to take through a system, or just as simple anxiety for simple procedures. And talk about, I'm going to use the S word here. I'm just going to do it. People brace yourselves, as a sales tool, right? For converting patients, right? To be able to talk about, and maybe somebody doesn't like Hawaii. Maybe somebody wants to just walk along a sandy beach somewhere that's not in Hawaii. Or talk to me about what kind of variances they have for the VR goggles. What are some of the things to be able to distract? Because that's what it's really about. It's about distracting the mind. I mean, if we only use 10, 12, maybe 15% of our brain, the other 85%, if you can engage parts of that to distract from what's going on, I know even for me, here it is. When I go to the dentist twice a year for my hygiene appointment, I put noise canceling headphones in my ear because I don't want to hear them polishing, scraping, using the Cavitron. I just don't. I do not. I'm going to say it here and now on the Tooth Sleuth podcast. I do not like going to the dentist. Shocker for everyone, right? So even for myself, right? Is that anxiety? Probably. I just don't care for it. So for me, it's something that I use and I love, right? So talk to me about that. What are some of the different things for distraction in the VR goggles that you all have there?
Okay, before I get into that, picture 7, 8-year-old Ian. I know that's difficult to picture because you're right now, I know you're picturing 7, 8-year-old Ian with hair on it.
Everybody hop over to YouTube at like the 16, 17-minute mark. Yeah. And you'll know why I'm laughing. No offense. Yeah. Well, maybe a little bit of offense. It's okay. 6 or 7-year-old Ian.
7, 8-year-old Ian with hair on his chest. And he goes to the dentist. His mother leaves him off because he was very precocious and he can go up the stairs and all by himself while she went to park the car and usually came back. But she left me off at the dentist's office. It was in this 2-story house. I used to go in there, walk upstairs to the dentist, and every time I would go in there, I would ask for the key to the bathroom, which was downstairs. I would go to the bathroom, lock myself in, and not come out for a half an hour because I was petrified that I had dental phobia as a child, and I still don't love going to the dentist. So I relate to exactly what you just said. And so when I found VR, wow, that was a game changer for me. And that's not why I joined the company. I joined the company for all kinds of other reasons, but they have such fantastic modalities. They have games. So if you are a child, a teenager, or a man over 50, man-child, games are basically what you want to do. You're going to be sitting there having so much fun that you're not going to know what's going on.
Wait, why did you look at me when you said a man-child over 50?
Oh,
Just saying.
if I need to explain that, then we're in the wrong place. So we have games, all kinds of, we have dance games. We've got games where you are educational games for young patients, for children, teaching them how to brush and floss, that kind of thing. All of our systems come with a tablet and they're controlled by the tablet. So that if you're doing the hygiene education with a child, you can actually give them encouragement. You could tell them exactly what they're seeing on the screen and add to that education. If you're an adult, you could be saying, "Hey, Greg, great score. You just beat your partner. You just beat everybody this week." And it just is something that it's exhilarating. You'd leave the chair wanting to come back to beat your score from the week before. So it's a lot of fun. We also have puzzles. These are very cerebral. And these are kind of the type of things where you have to pick and choose what you want to do, and you have to think about it. But the scenery is beautiful, the music is zen, and again, all of it is really designed to lower your heart rate. And then the calm scenes are what most adults really enjoy. I mentioned Hawaii, but we take patients off to the Mayan ruins. We go to the pyramids in Egypt. We go into the jungle on a safari. All this time, but again, we're not doing anything in the jungle that's going to raise your heartbeat. It's all meant to lower your heart rate. And
No
so
being chased by lions
no, we
or,
were chased
yeah,
by lions.
rhinos. Yeah.
And, everyone asks me, why should I go ahead with paper plane therapeutics instead of just going and get a set of goggles and having my patients in them? And that's a big thing, right? And so first of all, we have something called head still technology, which means if your patient moves their head by even 2 or 3 degrees, it shuts down. And as soon as they stop moving, it reopens again. So it's not like they lose where they are in their score or anything like that. And if you want to ask them, well, turn your head 90 degrees to the left, they could do it. It shuts down, but then opens up again when you stop moving. And
Encourages the right behavior. Love it.
so what this does is, like Pavlov's dogs, teaches them not to move their head while you're in the middle of drilling their teeth. And that helps a lot. It helps in the amount of time that you spend with that patient. Number two is we use something which we call see-through technology, which enables you to, at any time, stop the experience and talk to your patient. They can see you, and you give that warm, friendly smile that they need for reassurance, and you can discuss what issue is, what you're going to be doing with them, and make sure that they're, again, calm. And so with those things, we've also eliminated cyber sickness, which is big in VR. Now, so if you're using Meta, your patients are looking all over the place. They're probably stimulated. Their heart rate is going up. They're either watching something like Friday the 13th, or they're playing Call of Duty, and all of a sudden somebody's jumped up behind you with a gun to your head. And these things are going to make you not only anxious, but every once in a while your head is just going, well, like that. And all of a sudden that's not so good in a dental chair. So this is all very, very calming, and the patients keep still, calm, and they're happy. We have patients that actually leave the chair, kids, and they go to their mommy and say, I want to come back, which is crazy. We have patients who recommend their friends to go to that dentist just because they know that their friends are anxious like them. So we have some dentists who organically get 1 to 2 patients a month just from their patients. Forget about advertising. That's a whole other way to get patients. But just from organic referrals, you can get 1 or 2 patients a month per operatory.
Yeah, and so reducing the anxiety and increasing the experience through what I'm going to go back to the word that I use, which is really distraction, right? Distracting them from what's going on around their environment. And this isn't like that dissimilar of a concept. I mean, how often have you seen the televisions with, the YouTube or the fish floating around the screen above people? Well, now you just bring it right to them so they can't see when the dentist is coming in and doing different procedures and whatnot. So I love that it's right there in their own experience and being able to, and all the advantages, right? The technology to be able to shut off to encourage the behavior of, okay, keep your head still, keep your head still, keep your head still, and being able to lessen the amount of time that the dentist's actually in there doing the procedure, which saves your chair time and overall experience. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, this is the part of the, oh, please go ahead.
Dentists will say 5 to 10 minutes per hour of chair time, which is an incredible savings.
That really is. That's significant when you start to add those up over days, weeks, months, and even over the course of a year or two, for sure. Love that. Well, Ian, this is the part of the program. All of my guests play a little something called What the Sleuth is Going On. It's 3 rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to mind. Are you ready to play?
Is that one of the questions?
Yes. Well, then it's 3.5 questions, but because you're Canadian and the exchange rate, no, that's not. That's the tariff. Is that first part of the question of, are you ready to play? There's one in every crowd, guys. All right. Question number 1. What's the worst bad breath you've ever encountered?
It was an employee who I hired back in 1981. That's how much I remember this. And I had to let her go because she could not control her breath and she wouldn't do anything about it. And it was vile. It was just disgusting.
That's pretty bad. Don't name names, even though it's 1981. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. I'll let you tag him if you want when this episode comes out. Don't do it. Question number 2. If you could change one thing about your smile, what would it be?
Oh boy. I think my smile is a timid smile. I know that's strange coming from me, but I'm not one of these people who over smiles. And I've always wanted to have that over smile naturally. But when I do it, it just looks forced. So I think I'd rather have a bigger smile.
So you have the painful big smile when you try to smile big?
It just doesn't land. It does like you're naturally.
Oh, yeah. It looks, that definitely looks forced. It looks like you're being smirmy. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that again. If people want to see it, YouTube, 25-minute mark.
Here, go look. I cut this out. I know.
Go, no, post-production, they will not cut that out. That's a good look. We might use the sweet shot.
We're listening to this.
Exactly. Question number 3, last and final. If you could go back and be the inventor of any dental product and know you can't choose your own right now that you're repping, which one would you choose and why?
Wow. That's a tough one because there's so many amazing dental products out there. But I'd have to say any product that Apple creates for dentistry.
Right? We know why too. Give me just a piece of that. It's a little smidge, just a little.
Yes, probably say Crest toothpaste. I mean, I think that, from there's all kinds of people who will love Crest and some people hate Crest and some people are talking fluoride and hydroxyapatite and status fluoride versus sodium fluoride. But I think that I really, really have been impressed by Crest and what they've done for dentistry. And so I would say Crest.
Love that.
And a penny I want market would be okay.
Yeah, right. Well, I want to respect your time and my listening audience's time. So in the last few minutes, is there anything I haven't asked you that you'd like to share today?
Yes, absolutely. The concept of giving. I'm part of a mastermind, and we decided to start a nonprofit. And I think that everybody needs to think about giving. Now, what's giving? Giving could be giving money, giving of yourself, giving blood, whatever it is. And one of the things that I look for in all the new companies that come to me and look for advice or help is whether or not they have a social impact arm, whether or not they want to give back to the community. And I think that that's one of the things that, in the last few minutes, I just want to say that whatever you do, just be generous. Be generous to yourself, be generous to your community, and give whatever you can to whatever organization you feel is worthy of it.
I love that. Companies that have social impact, and then personally how we can give of limited resources that we have, which are time, talent, and treasure. My guest today on the Tooth Sleuth Podcast has been Ian Miller. Thank you so much for your time today, which you've been very generous with. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Big. Anytime.
If you need help with converting lead calls into consultations, closing consults into more full arch cases, or creating a more strategic marketing message and branding for your practice or group, follow me for more tips or reach out to G&A Consult for a discovery call today.